News 4 Today begins with breaking news.
Right now, a big problem on 95 northbound in Maryland, right near the ICC. We have the main lanes closed, just the shoulder getting by. More on this breaking fatal accident in a couple of minutes.
Dry right now, but storms potentially strong to severe later today. I'll have the latest timing for this weather alert day coming up.
And it's been a heated debate in one of the area's largest school districts. The big decision that could change what your students learn about sex and gender identity in the classroom next year.
But we begin with the breaking news Melissa just mentioned. A construction worker hit and killed on I-95 in Laurel. News 4's Megan McGrath is live at the scene now with more information. Megan, good morning.
Good morning. You can see behind me that they are making some progress in hooking up the crashed, smashed up vehicles involved here. The tow trucks are on the scene. But right now, all of the lane closures are still in place. Northbound 95, only squeezing by on the left-hand shoulder. The ramp to the ICC is completely closed, so you cannot get on the ICC from northbound 95. Now, this was a fatal accident that happened right around 1:30 this morning in a construction zone that had been set up on the northbound side of I-95. A tractor trailer was headed through the area right near the exit for the ICC. That truck hit a construction vehicle. It was one of those crash attenuators with the arrow on it. It hit that vehicle, continued on a little bit further, hit a second construction vehicle. There was a construction worker who was standing beside that second vehicle. The worker was struck and died later at the hospital. The worker has been identified as 62-year-old Randy Jury of Halifax, Pennsylvania. He's a construction worker, a contractor working for State Highway, and was in this construction zone early this morning. Now, if you normally travel through the area, be aware there are major delays. We're talking about several miles in terms of the backup. So you're going to want to avoid this area. With more on the workaround, I'm going to send it over to Melissa. What should folks do?
Megan, what folks should do really with this breaking news this morning on 95 northbound at the ICC? You're going to want to take BW Parkway or 29 instead. Right now, Chopper 4 over the scene, and you can see they are trying to right things. They are trying to get a lot of this debris out of the way so that things get cleared up. As far as backups go, we're talking about 2.5 miles as you're headed northbound on 95 near the ICC. And now we're also getting backup southbound as folks just sort of looking at things that way. That cleanup is underway. The ramp to the ICC is closed. Again, if you're headed 95 northbound, you're not going to be able to get on the ICC. Amelia?
Melissa, quiet start this morning. A live look outside with our city camera, and we're seeing for the most part mostly to partly cloudy skies across the area. On Storm Team 4 radar, though, I'm keeping a close eye on this system, mainly impacting parts of Illinois and Indiana. This is going to be our main trigger for rain and thunderstorms later today. Notice these showers out here in Ohio. I'm going to keep an eye on this as well. This could be a trigger for some isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms. But the severe potential really this evening with high winds, Aaron, the potential for heavy rain and some hail as well. More on timing in 10 minutes.
All right, Amelia, thank you. It's coming up on 6:03 now, and we could learn today when the man accused of murdering UVA student will go on trial. Jesse Matthew due in court this afternoon. Prosecutors say he killed Hannah Graham last year. The judge in this case may face a motion to recuse herself, though. Defense lawyers want her out because she was involved early in the case. Matthew's trial probably won't happen until sometime next year.
Mourners in South Carolina are saying goodbye today to victims of the Charleston shooting. 2 more viewings will be held for State Senator Clemente Pinckney, and a funeral will be held for Sharonda Coleman Singleton. Last night, worshipers returned to Emmanuel AME Church for the first Bible study since that shooting. The key theme, love.
The pastor talked about love tonight, which I'm very familiar with, because God says he knows no color. He made us all. And that's what tonight's prayer said it was about.
Meanwhile, confessed killer Dylan Roof now has federal public defenders. That's seen as an indication he will ultimately face federal charges in addition to the 9 murder charges he faces in South Carolina.
New developments released from jail. The second prison employee arrested in the escape of 2 inmates in New York posted bail. Gene Palmer put up $250,000. The corrections officer there is charged with destroying evidence and promoting dangerous contraband. A prison seamstress told investigators she smuggled hacksaw blades and escape tools inside raw ground beef. The district attorney says Palmer took that frozen meat to David Sweat and Richard Matt's area in the prison where inmates are allowed to cook. Palmer's attorney says he didn't know anything was in the beef. Sweat and Matt escaped nearly 3 weeks ago. Police have zeroed in now on a cabin where investigators found the inmate's DNA. Back to you.
Thanks, Kristen. D.C. homicide detectives want to know who dumped a body in the Potomac River. Someone discovered the body in the river by the Kennedy Center yesterday. Now, this is a separate incident from the man's body police pulled from the tidal basin yesterday morning. D.C. police have not identified either victim.
Take a look at some surveillance video we want to show you here. You can see a man walk up to a driver at the SunTrust Bank on Largo Center Drive in Upper Marlboro. He then pulls a gun and demands money. The driver handed over what he had. This happened last Wednesday. If you recognize this man, call Prince George's County Police. Later today, Fairfax County Schools set to vote on adding gender identity and sexual orientation to part of its curriculum. The school board is poised to add those topics to classes about family life for 7th and 8th grade students. This is video taken just after the board approved the plan to add transgender people to the district's anti-discrimination policy. Parents will be able to opt their children out of the curriculum.
It is 5:06, or 6:06 rather. If you ride Mark, starting today, there is a big increase in how much you have to pay. 7-day passes are going up by at least $20. One-way trips are going up about $1 on average. Mark is offering a new 5-day pass if you only take the train on weekdays. Next week, Maryland Transit officials will talk about extending Mark service to Delaware for those of you who need to make that trip.
Developing news now, a military jet crash started a brush fire in Arizona. The frantic search underway right now for the pilot.
And just in time for summer travel season, BWI Marshall has a big announcement. Why it could mean some more options for you.
There is a reason why you're having trouble sleeping at night. The answer may be lying right next to you. What you should stop doing an hour before bedtime to ensure some good snoozing. Stick around.
After an office leak, the new calls to restrict what information is released in the Freddie Gray death investigation in Baltimore.
Severe weather scaring some folks near Nats Park. Amelia Siegel says we are in for another round. She's timing out when we'll see more storms on this weather alert day. Well, our eyes are on the Supreme Court today. The justices could come down with some major decisions.
How it could impact health insurance for Virginians.
We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, today could just be the day we hear about the Purple Line. Big announcement coming out of Annapolis today. I'm Oleg Green. I'll have a live report coming up.
And a beautiful sky out there to begin your Thursday. It's the calm before the storm, though. Amelia will explain the risks we could face at 6:31.
Plus, big problems on 95 northbound here at the ICC. A look at these major backups and how to avoid them coming up.
New information now after an I-team investigation surrounding a certain birth control. What the FDA is warning you.
Of LGBT Americans is... Yeah, hold on a second.
Why you don't want to mess with President Obama inside his house.
And breaking news on the roads right now, a major mess on 95 northbound near the ICC because of a fatal crash overnight. How to avoid this, my best advice here coming up in just a second.
Melissa, thank you. Smart cars are about to get smarter. What General Motors is about to let you do from your car that you normally do from your phone.
We have breaking news right now on 95. Take a live look at the scene here. A construction worker is killed on the job. We have a live update from the scene next. Your time right now is 6:42.